Students are headed back to school, but helping students in school takes a great network of support outside of the classroom. How are United Way agencies helping our children outside of school? What options are available? We'll discuss that and more today. Hello and welcome to Living United, a show about how our community can be the change for those most in need. I'm Ann McNeil, United Way volunteer and manager of corporate citizenship for IBM. Today I'm joined by representatives of 2 United Way agencies, and we'll hear from a third agency in a new video that we'll show you in just a few minutes. My 2 guests today are Leela Smallwood, Regional Director of Youth Programs for the YWCA Central Carolinas, and Catherine Lambert, Executive Vice President, Girl Scouts Hornets Nest Council. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for being here today. I have to tell you, I'm very excited about both of your organizations being here because as a volunteer with United Way and also with IBM, I've worked with both of your organizations a good bit. So I'm really excited for you guys to tell our viewing audience about some of the great things that you're doing for the students of our community. But before we get into that, if both of you could talk a little bit about what your organizations are doing and what your roles are in your organizations. Leela, I'd like to start with you, if I may.
Absolutely. The United Way, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just keep going. The YWCA Central Carolinas is dedicated to eliminating racism, empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. And one of the ways that we do that is through our youth programs, our Families Together programs, and our Women in Transition program. My role there is Regional Director of our youth programs.
Wonderful. Thanks for being here. Catherine?
Girl Scouts is really all about taking today's girls and ensuring that they are tomorrow's leaders, not necessarily president, though I believe that will probably happen. She will have been a Girl Scout, but leaders in their own lives. And we do that through 4 program focus areas: environmental leadership, STEM, community building, and also healthy living. My role there, I oversee all of our membership services, fund development, marketing, and that wonderful cookie product program.
Love the cookies. Can't forget about the cookies.
That's right.
Great, great. Well, you know, the general public, as we know, when you think of the YWCA, you're thinking of a place where you can go to exercise and do that type of thing. But you do so much more. And obviously, when you talk about youth programs, it's more than just a child development center. You've got a lot of programs. And so will you talk a little bit about, go into some of the programs for me? I'd really like to hear about it.
Yes, absolutely. With the youth programs, we serve youth in Mecklenburg County and also in Union County. We have 9 youth learning centers in Mecklenburg County and 2 in Union County. Our main focus with our youth learning programs is threefold. The first is to increase the success of academic achievement with children through literacy. The second focus is to provide a safe and nurturing environment for children when they're not in school. And then the third is to equip parents with the tools they need to support their child's academic achievement.
And so these programs are after school,
Yes.
and they're serving an underserved population.
Absolutely.
And how are the students identified for those programs?
Well, the students that we serve live in high poverty neighborhoods, and they have to meet eligibility requirements. There's no fee for our program.
Great. And the students, how do they get there? I mean, are they in the neighborhood? Are they going to neighborhood schools? Or are they?
They're in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
And we get our students through word of mouth.
Okay, great. And so they're traveling from school directly to your program each day?
Absolutely.
And it's a Monday through Friday program?
It is during
Excellent.
the traditional school year.
Okay. Likewise, Catherine, if you can talk a little bit about some of the programs that you all are working on.
Absolutely. I think everybody's very familiar with our kind of traditional Girl Scout
Sure.
model where typically a parent or a
Right.
guardian serves as a troop leader. But we also have a community outreach program where girls living in fragile communities or at-risk communities where transportation, socioeconomics,
Right.
and volunteer leadership is they're all barriers to that participation. I think one of the things people don't necessarily associate with Girl Scouts is that great connection to academic achievement and school
Right.
success.
Right.
And our national organization has really focused on that Ready by 21 and Common Core standards in all of our program material development, and things like STEM and a focus on financial literacy. Those are all direct tie-ins to that school success and academic achievement.
And you're working with girls from the age of, I guess, what is it starts with a brownie, that age. So you're working from the time they start school up until graduation, going to college, correct?
That's exactly right. We start with kindergartners
Right.
all the way through 12th grade, and then hopefully retain many of those
to be volunteers
for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Leela, I know that the YW and the Girl Scouts collaborate. You guys collaborate. If you could start and talk about maybe some of the collaborations you all have, because I think that's fascinating, because I wouldn't think of either of those programs as really, an interconnection. So I'd love to hear about that. If you want to start, and then Catherine, if you'll add on some information.
Absolutely. We are very fortunate to partner with United Way programming, especially the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts. And they hold weekly meetings at our centers.
Oh,
our
wow.
children are able to participate in all components of scouting, including overnight camping. So we've really benefited from the collaboration with the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts.
So, Catherine, that was an example where you were saying a fragile neighborhood that might not otherwise have a scouting program.
With transportation being one of the key barriers, usually the children, the girls in our case, have transportation to and from school or to an after-school program, but not to a Church XYZ
Right,
where Girl
sure.
Scout troop might be meeting. And so we are heavily reliant on our partners like the YWCA, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs, for us to be able to come in and deliver where there are already children. We also partner with the school system, and it's really about, for us, meeting that girl where she is. And so we know that we're just a piece of the puzzle
Right,
for them,
yeah.
and many of our girls' families are using other United Way agencies around housing,
Sure.
critical needs, but we're providing that piece where she has kind of that very normal experience that her peers in schools might be having being a part of a Girl Scout program.
Well, so I've had the opportunity to volunteer at one of your after-school programs. Actually, a group of our IBMers came in and we did some science experiments. We had a fabulous time. And so I know that it's boys and girls, and it's, the age range looked to be, I think the group that we were working with was the kindergarten, probably through 5th grade.
That's right.
So when you guys come in, are you also bringing in a volunteer, or the people that are running their centers being the leaders for the scouting? How does that work?
It's a little bit of both. We have paid staff who,
Right.
the girls know no different. What they
Right.
know is that there is a consistent, committed adult
Right.
that is coming and working with the Girl Scout program. We bring that single adult, and then we are utilizing, to make sure we have the right girl-adult ratios, utilizing the staff of our partner agency. So it's really a win-win for both of us in
That's
being
excellent.
able to maximize the experience and minimize the cost.
Excellent. Well, speaking of United Way partners, we're going to show you a video about another United Way agency that is helping at-risk children right now. Take a look.
What the Boys and Girls Club is, a place that a kid can go that let's say maybe don't have any self-worth or self-value, and find not only a self-worth and self-value, but find a way to be a productive citizen in the world. The thing about the Boys and Girls Club, they make you a well-rounded kid on all sides. But the Boys and Girls Club, we have Power Hour, where we have reading. We also have tutoring programs to help kids that are struggling. If you've never struggled, you wouldn't understand. But when you're struggling and you don't know which direction to go, it's almost like it kind of forces you to shut down. But you can come here to the Boys and Girls Club, get with any staff member and go, hey, I'm having a little trouble with this math. If they can't figure it out, they will find someone that can help you figure it out. And therefore, that just gives you so much self-worth and confidence. And now when you go back to class, it's nothing like an understanding and knowing. You can sit in class with confidence and you're almost like begging them, please call on me, I got this. It's a big difference, and our concentration on education has taken us so far with the kids, because once a kid learns that he does have a great self-worth, and education is one of those things that does that for a child, then it takes him to a whole nother level of of being able to achieve things. It's almost like the old saying, I'll give you a fish you'll eat for the day if I teach you to fish you'll eat your lifetime. What they do so well is they teach you the things that will take you through your lifetime. Well, being part of the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club changed my life mainly because one of the main things it did for me is it taught me responsibility. It gave me values on things that I wouldn't have had values on otherwise. And so going to the club, it was great to be able to go there. It gave you, they taught you confidence, they taught you self-worth. See, I didn't have a father, just my mom and my grandmother. So the boys club became like my father, and the director there, who is still a part of the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, the director there named Frento Burton, took us under his wings, taught us little stuff like how to change a tire on a car. You know, when we got our driver's license, the staff actually took us in their car to get us our driver's license because my mom didn't own a car or have any license, so it was none of that. And, you know, so little things like that, confidence building, to be able to hold your head up, because I could never look a person in the eye and talk to them. Boys and Girls Club gave you that confidence, that self-confidence to be able to stand in front of anyone and be able to feel good about who you are and whose you are, most importantly. I mean, where else can you go and find all of that in one place? You know, you can go to different places and each one of them has something that they specialize in, but you go to the Boys and Girls Club and it's all in one place with people that love you and people that'll help you to achieve in life, which says, you know, says so much about this place that so many of us have called home. We at the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, and I say we as being a member of the advisory council, could not do it without the great help of the United Way of the Central Carolinas. One of the big things there is that we have a very low membership, so therefore any kid has the ability to come into the club. No kid will be turned away because of the lack of finances, and the United Way has made that possible. Our membership is only $5 a year, if you could imagine that. You can't go anywhere for $5 a year, you know, and that's only because of what we get from United Way. We definitely want our kids to get the best possible resources that are available, the best trained people that are available, and the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club offers that.
And we're back in the studio. That video was very informative. One point it made was that United Way helps keep costs low so children in any financial means can participate. Is that the case with both of your agencies? I know we talked a little bit about it, but if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that, that would be good.
Absolutely. For us, over 20 years ago, we identified some gaps in our service, and it turned out to be in inner city neighborhoods. And when we really examined why, it was all those earlier factors we talked about. And it was United Way funding then that allowed us to really start this whole community outreach initiative.
Right.
And then as it's evolved over the years and newly arrived populations and have entered into our footprint, that funding has allowed us, even through really difficult economic times and tough times with other funding, has allowed us to continue those efforts so that those girls can participate regardless of their financial realities.
That's great. That's great. So wonderful way to make donations to United Way, because then it's going to go to these students who are so in need. Leela, what about at the YWCA?
The same thing with us, with our youth programs. It's through United Way funding that we're able to deliver these services. Parents do not have to pay a fee. We just ask them to be involved in their children's education, and they do so through volunteering at the center.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, when we volunteered, I think I mentioned to you, had the opportunity to meet a couple of the parents who were in volunteering, which I think is a wonderful part of the program, because it's probably in some cases helping them with better skills around helping their children be successful.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Catherine, I want to talk about something that's obviously very important to me at IBM, which is STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And that's what you guys are focusing on in your after school and in your out of school programs with girls, which obviously is so important because the statistics, which I know you'll probably touch on a little bit, are staggering. About how we don't have the number of girls involved in those careers. one of the programs that I've been directly involved with and that IBM has been involved with is the Power of Girls, which is a program for middle school girls, and you can talk a little bit more about it, but specifically the way we've been engaged is through a Lego robotics product with the girls. We actually teach them how to program Legos, and they can move around, and the girls really enjoy it. We've also done career development with them, talking about the types of careers that they could enter into. And it's been, I would say, as life-changing and learning for our volunteers, probably more so than the girls. And I think that, and I know with your programs you spend so much time with having volunteers engaged, but if you can talk more, because you have many more programs, that's just one piece of one program, that's one Saturday in 1 year, and you have many, many programs. So if you'd talk a little bit more about some of the many programs you all do around science, technology, engineering, and math.
Kind of one of our guiding principles is that if you look at the statistics, fast-growing industry, STEM careers.
Right.
And yet only 25% of the jobs are being held by women, which we would love to see that more balanced.
Right.
But for our girls, what a tremendous opportunity for their future. So it's about showing them the fun and the excitement of it.
Exactly.
So you hit two key components with your Lego robotics program. It's hands-on experiential learning, which the
Right.
girls love. They get wrapped up in it. And the second piece is that mentor, those volunteers that are there, the girls can only be what they can see. So when
Right.
they're seeing women and men who are in these careers, it helps them push that way. But some other things that we have a huge forensics focus.
Neat.
Really trying to tie in with what's popular culture. So you can't turn on the TV in the evening
Without seeing one of these shows.
without a
Yeah.
CSI in some city. So
Right.
we have a blood spatter wall, a bone dig area, DNA analysis, and the backbone behind that is physics and biology.
Yeah.
And the girls are learning about these neat careers and realizing they can't opt out of those academic endeavors. We've had a mobile technology bus, and many of these things we're bringing in tablet technology and utilizing iPads and that sort of thing. For many of these girls, especially in our community outreach program, these are opportunities for hands-on experiential learning that they simply would not have elsewhere. And so it really is about that hands-on fun. So you
Right.
excite the learning, and then you share what the path is, but also get them excited about what that future opportunity is with career development.
Yeah, and the career development piece is interesting because we, I know we have a number of people who have participated in the program and then they come back as volunteers. And I always am encouraging our younger women to do this because the girls can relate so much more to someone closer to their age. I believe this. I always say, they don't want to hear from a 50-year-old woman. They want to hear from a 25-year-old woman who's just finished college and is working on her PhD, and they can see there's a path to that, and maybe she was someone who was helped out along the way.
The research backs you up.
Yep.
They want to see
Yep.
18 to 29-year-olds.
Exactly.
That's who they want to relate
Exactly.
to.
Yeah. Leela, we were just talking a minute ago about the parent involvement.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about how do you engage the parents? Are you giving them some support? When they come into the classroom, they're just not coming in there to stand and watch. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
That's right. Parent engagement is a key component to a child's academic performance and
Right.
their well-being. And so we do have a full-time family support coordinator, and she provides resources, she coaches parents, she will attend school conferences with parents, and
how
she
wonderful.
teaches them, yes, absolutely, and she teaches them strategies and ways in which they can be good advocates for their children. We also partner with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools with their Parent University program, and we have monthly parent meetings and workshops where Parent University facilitators facilitate topics such as positive parenting solutions, effective strategies for dealing with or managing children's behavior. They also give them tips too about meeting with teachers and having teacher conferences. And then parents are able to access the computers at our centers to go on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Parent
And check the
Assist
grades,
website.
yeah.
So it's an array of ways in which we partner with parents to strengthen.
Right, because you don't think about many of them don't have the connectivity at home.
Yes.
And so how are they going to check their children's
Yes.
grades without maybe having to get on a bus, go to a public library, but they're
Yes.
already coming to the center, so it's a perfect win-win situation. That's great.
Yes.
So we know, obviously, when we talked about, the traditional Girl Scout troops and the moms typically, working with the girls, with your STEM initiatives, are you also engaging parents in those programs as well?
Where we can, absolutely. In our community outreach program, it's not a requirement that their parent be engaged, but just like Leela was saying, it's a more enriching experience when they are. And where we can, what we really try to do is transition a troop that is being staff-led into a mentored situation and ultimately a volunteer-led situation where we're still able to support them with the financial assistance.
Right, sure.
But we're able to redeploy that staff to maybe serve a new group of girls
and get them, lift them up and get them ready.
Engaged. So a huge part of it is building that confidence and training in those adults in those girls' lives that they can do it.
Because typically those adults have probably we're not exposed to scouting, so this is their first exposure as well.
That's exactly
right. So building that confidence is so key.
That's exactly
excellent. Excellent. So if I'm a parent with limited means and I'm watching the show today, if both of you could just touch on some ways, what could a parent do to get involved or get their child involved in your programs?
Well, one of the ways we reach out to parents is through our partnership with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. A parent could go to perhaps their guidance counselor to find out whether or not a youth learning center is attached to their school.
Oh, okay.
Other ways in which we do that, as I mentioned, was through word of mouth.
Right.
We partner with the Charlotte Housing Authority
because
many of our centers are located in Charlotte Housing Authority neighborhoods, and most of the parents that live there are aware of our center and our presence.
Excellent. And what about you?
We also have a phenomenal partnership with the school system,
right,
and we will be in just about every elementary school in the next 6 weeks, and there's a whole listing of what nights and times we will be there, and that's a great opportunity for girls and parents to come out and find more. The Power of Girls program you referenced, we are partnered with many middle schools for that program, and same thing, it would be a great place to go to the school and ask if there is a site that's happening there, but otherwise we look forward to seeing everybody next month.
Yeah, definitely. And when is that? What's the date on that?
We start at the very beginning, depends on which county, and we go the entire month of September, a little bit into October, different schools every single night.
Is it parent nights? Is that basically when you're there?
Some parent nights and some very individually specific to just a Girl Scout recruitment event.
Okay, great. So if I'm an adult who maybe doesn't have a child, but maybe I've been a scout, or maybe I want to work with younger children in an aftercare program that you guys or after school program that you all are working on, how can I get involved? What are some opportunities for specifically with you guys, young adult women? And are there some opportunities there, and how would they go about engaging?
I think that is probably the best kept secret that we're unleashing today, is that you don't have to have a daughter to be a Girl Scout volunteer.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you want to be a leader, that's one of our greatest needs. But we also have some very shorter term, 6 to 8 week session volunteer opportunities, and even some episodic, very similar to what your team at IBM. But I challenge anybody who comes once, meet some of these young women. Not many just do the one-time thing because they get so engaged and excited.
Right, and I was going to make a point of that because I know with both the program that we've done with you guys and also with you guys, we have had volunteers always then do more. So for example, they did our but then they go every time to the Power. Now they're a regular mentor in the Power Girls program, and then the same thing, they are a regular weekly, come in once a week and help out. And so with your organization, same thing. You've got lots of opportunities as well. What are some of those that if I'm an adult that would like to volunteer?
Absolutely. Part of the reason why our programs are successful is the partnership that we have with community volunteers. And all a person needs to do is to contact the YWCA, and then we partner them with various centers. And because we have 11 centers, 9 in Mecklenburg County, 2 in Union County, there's an array of ways in which people can work with our children, specifically around that whole literacy piece that we do, being just a tutor with a child or listening to a child read one-on-one. So there is various ways in which volunteers can assist with us.
Excellent. And so for our viewing audience, you can call the United Way's Volunteer Center, and they can connect you with either of these organizations and the appropriate. I know you both have volunteer coordinators that manage your programs, and the organizations do a very good job of maybe specifically, maybe you're not sure at what level you want to engage, and I think that's the other beauty of both of your programs. There are opportunities for a once a week engagement, a once a month, a more more of a quarterly opportunities, or I would imagine you probably have daily volunteers in some cases. And so I do encourage you, if you reach out to the Volunteer Center at United Way, you can find out more about that. We are closing the show soon, but I did want to ask you one more question around the character traits that you teach the girls, because obviously that's such an important, I was a scout, and it was such an important part of, there was always a lesson involved. Can you talk a little bit more about that with these other programs, what you're teaching the girls?
I would say everybody thinks the 3 C's of Girl Scouting immediately come to mind as cookies, camping, and crafts. And sure, those are big parts of the program. My hope is that everybody would walk away thinking of the 3 C's as courage, confidence, and character. And when we think about leaders, no matter male, female, what industry they're in, those are 3 really important traits of successful leaders in any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's a great way to end the program. And so I challenge all of you leaders out there to make calls and volunteer in your community. Catherine Leela, thank you so much for being my guest today, and thank you so much for the time you invest in serving the children in our community. To our viewing audience, if you want to know more about how to live united in your community, please visit the website shown on your screen. And if you're a member of our viewing audience who needs help, please call 211 24 hours a day. Dialing 211 will connect you to a referral specialist who can help you find services such as food, housing, employment, and more. I'm Ann McNeil. Thank you for Living United.